This time on Heavy Rescue 401.
It's been one hell of a ride.
A sudden collapse
If there's any safety concerns, it'll become a full stop.
pushes the Ross crew
Watch your step.
to hit dangerous heights.
Don't go under it. Don't go under it. Get out.
This is wild today, man. Wow.
And on a deadly stretch of highway,
You got something on fire over there.
a young operator
I just have a bad feeling.
makes his boldest move.
Stop.
Big day today. Anybody know where them wreckers are headed? Must be a big one.
There'll be lots of eyes on us here today, so make sure we do everything right.
On the road south of London, the crew from Ross Services is heading to a recovery that's taken weeks of planning.
There's no room for error on a job like this.
3 weeks ago, an early spring thaw fueled raging waters. And in Port Bruce, 30 miles south of the Ross Yard, the bridge over Catfish Creek collapsed.
Everybody just wants to make sure everything goes as planned and nobody gets hurt. Time to go to work.
Now water levels are down. And Mike Ross and crew are staring down a job unlike anything they've faced before. The truck, loaded with asphalt gravel, was driving north across the bridge when the structure buckled in the high waters. Junior heavy op Brad Prince will be following Mike's lead to get the truck back on land.
It's been one hell of a ride.
I can only imagine how that felt, seeing the road disappear in front of you. And next thing you know, you're staring at the sky.
Firefighters rescued the driver,
Don't walk under that bridge, okay?
but the truck and cargo, totaling 70,000 pounds, have been stranded ever since.
This bridge was quite a shock to most people involved. This isn't a common occurrence.
Over here.
We got the fire department here with us.
Good.
The police have the road blocked. So there's a lot of people here today.
You're working blind here.
Mike's father and Ross owner, Dave, is running the operation.
The truck has to leave. It doesn't get to stay there.
Just wheel her in there, Mike, and we'll back you out.
For a job this size, they'll need more than heavy wreckers.
Keep coming. Good. Stop. Drop the air, will you?
So Dave's called in major backup to work with his crew.
It's sitting on a bridge in the middle of a river, and this thing cannot get back to the road without a crane.
The crane's job today will be to help unload the truck.
The load of gravel is actually asphalt, and we couldn't have it getting into the river because of the tar and oil that's in it.
The offload will require a crew to shovel it out by hand. So Mike will anchor the truck with a rotator,
Feet, watch your toes.
and the crew needs the crane to swing their lines into place.
Pull some cable, guys. Hold on to the cable, Brad.
Right now we're just getting everything set up. We got to get up on the bridge and set it up so that the truck stays in place. We got to secure it.
Coil it up. We need about 100 feet there.
This recovery is going to take a total of 2 days. The first day, we're going to unload it, and the second day, we're actually going to lift the truck off the bridge.
If there's any safety concerns that they see, it'll become a full stop.
The fire department is going to rappel us down the truck, and I'll hook the cables up and we can hold on to this truck while the guys unload it.
Okay, let's go to work.
Be safe. Okay.
This bridge can tip over at any second. Let's face it, we have no clue what kind of structural integrity is left in this bridge.
Bring it up here then.
Yep. At this point, anything can really happen. You lose your footing, you're gonna slide down into the river and potentially get trapped in this bridge. Heaven forbid, one of us ends up in the water.
Anything happens, everybody's coming in to help out.
On North America's busiest highway, closure is not an option.
Man, that's miserable.
120 miles northeast, wet weather has been pushing through Toronto.
At this rate, I'll be lucky to make it to Fort Erie. Jeepers. Tell me about it.
East of the city, OPP Constable Rob Long is heading right towards the rain.
Confident for Toronto.
To a call on the westbound 401.
Getting reports of an MVC 401 westbound.
Really, Whiskey 13, I can make my way to that location.
There's one up here on the right in the ditch.
All right, this will be interesting.
A garbage truck and a car have collided just outside of Ajax.
Arriving on scene, there's debris everywhere. We'll move it over the same thing. Awesome. The white vehicle came from the on-ramp here at Westy Road. For some unknown reason, lost control. Ended up going into a live lane in traffic and getting hit by the straight truck.
Hey, westbound, you got a major collision up ahead of you. They're hitting the brakes.
The crash has forced a shutdown of the ramp and 2 lanes of the nation's busiest road.
This portion of the highway is a major artery in and out of Toronto and is extremely important that we get it open as quickly as we can. You guys get someone to move your truck at the bottom of the ramp? We need to get it heavy through.
Yo, no, my driver's side roll-up door.
Getting the highway open will be up to B&G Towing and operator Mitch Wright.
You know, the rain's coming down, so it's starting to get a little bit slippery out there with the traffic, so we definitely want this out of here as fast as we can.
Just 20 years old, Mitch is one of the youngest rotator ops on the continent.
How many lanes do you guys need? Because I don't want to have anything going into traffic.
No, absolutely not.
Because we're already dealing with a whole bunch.
I think personally with this lane and with that little bit of bullnose we'll have more than enough to get it over.
Every time I show up on an accident scene, you can tell that people are kind of giving me the look. They're like, does this guy even have his driver's license?
Where's Mitchie?
Mitch will work with his father, Bill, who gave him a start sweeping floors in the shop. But Mitch always knew his ultimate goal.
As far as the rotator goes and who gets to drive it, I believe it was kind of a self-made decision by Mitch. I just started to see more and more of Mitch's personal things in my truck, and when I realized that it was his pillow in the bunk, it was time to give up the keys.
Are we good to go here?
Go, it's all you. All right, we got 1 hour, 1 hour only.
To lift the truck without taking up an extra lane, Mitch and Bill will work with a second rotator from a competitor.
We're gonna use you to pull the box on so we can get it chained, okay? All right.
And both trucks need to get into position fast.
Do you see a 1-ton?
No.
Rain is getting worse, contributing to more crashes down the highway. And the distraction of the recovery scene
There is still a lot of rubberneckers, unfortunately.
will only amplify the risk. So Bill wants to get moving now.
Whoa! I believe what we're gonna try and do, I think if you nose right up to it, I think you can work over the cab. You can just end roll the back end while he spikes it down and brings it up. We don't gotta turn the truck around. We don't gotta try and get too up beside it. Yeah. Work right over the cab, I think.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So if we can work over the front, we have the luxury of doing it in one lane and never having to close additional lanes to get placed. You get spun around 180 degrees, all right? Right over the front.
So I need lots of cable then so I don't hit the front of the truck.
All of it, full stick.
This is a first for me. I've never rolled anything over off the front of the truck in my life. It's just never happened. My dad's putting a lot of faith on me on this one.
And he needs to get moving.
This is wild today, man. Wow.
With afternoon traffic building,
It's a weird vibe right now out here. We gotta get this thing out of here before anything bad happens.
a secondary collision is only a matter of time.
Watch it, guys, watch it!
Oh! 4-car right there.
We got something on fire over there in the eastbound lanes.
Right there.
Holy, 4-car on fire.
So we got 5 Alpha 229, car fire, eastbound 41, right shoulder.
It happens. Everybody's coming in to help out.
On the collapsed bridge off of Highway 73,
Just hold on a sec, Mike.
Mike and Brad are working to rig up and secure the stranded dump truck.
So we're gonna need to get the hood open.
The truck is too heavy to lift it, so we're gonna unload it and get some of the weight down. This way it's a little lighter for us to pick it up.
Just gonna lift it from the fenders, Brad? Yeah.
The safety of the salvage crew depends on the execution of Mike's plan.
Have your Mike?
Yep. Can you hold it there, Brad? I'll get the strap.
Yeah. We don't have any room for error. Once we get this truck secured in place, there's gonna be guys that are putting their lives on the line to get into that box of the truck and shovel it out.
But until they secure it with the rotator, every minute on this bridge is a risk to Brad and Mike's own safety.
This truck can move at any point in time, and there's nothing holding it. There's nothing stopping it from going into the river.
Hey, Dave. Yeah, whenever you're ready, you can swing those cables over to us.
Just getting the rotator's lines onto the bridge from 100 feet away requires help from high up.
Okay, here we go, buddy.
But crane operator Dave Palsa
First of all, I'm going to bring the rotator cables to the front of the dump truck.
can't even get eyes on his target.
The way the bridge broke, I obviously can't see the dump truck. So I'm going to ask those guys to just guide me in.
That's good, Dave. Cable out.
Okay, we're gonna wind in cable.
Yeah, we're good. The truck's not gonna go anywhere now. We have it so it's all set up and it's safe for the guys to climb in the box and unload it.
The rigging looks good there, Mikey, on that concrete bucket.
The salvage crew needs the bucket to offload the cargo. But moving it into place takes finesse.
Don't want to bring it down and hit anybody in the head. Keep going?
Yeah, keep going, probably about 4 feet. Perfect.
Now the salvage crew will rely on the Ross's rigging as they shovel out the 30,000 pounds of asphalt. 30 loads in all.
We got one ready for you.
To be ready for round 2.
Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm swinging to the left.
Unfortunately, we can't put up a barrier to keep people from looking. You gotta keep your eyes on the road and pay attention to where you're going. You never know when something's gonna change in the traffic.
On the 401 east of Toronto, with secondary collisions already a reality,
Need a D-ring?
Mitch and his father Bill need to put their plan into action.
The other side of the strap's going straight into my hook?
Yeah, on top.
And to save time and further lane closure, Mitch will lift over the front of his truck for the first time ever.
So what? I'm just catching?
No? Here. I'm confused.
Your cables are right over the cab. So if anything goes wrong, it's not the back of your wrecker, you know, where it's metal and it's tough. It's the front of your cab. That's how you ride a truck off pretty easy if you're not careful.
I want you here. Somewhere in here.
Yeah.
With a chain, right there.
So I'm just gonna help him on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
With the other company lifting the front, Mitch will use one line to assist on the back and a second to catch the truck as it rolls, guiding it to a gentle landing.
Dad, when I start to tighten up, my safety's gonna do this. It's gonna skip.
Nope. You're not gonna lift that much. You watch. Very little.
Working over the cab's a little bit scary.
I just have a bad feeling.
It's not necessarily built to go straight over the front.
Pull your spike down a bit.
Yeah.
See how she's gonna react. Get your catch line a little bit snug. Ready?
Mitch needs to perfectly time the transition from lift to catch. If his catch line isn't tight enough, the stress of the falling weight could seriously damage his rotator.
The potential is to turn these things on their side, flip them over, bend the booms, break them off, and you know, when that kind of stuff happens, people get hurt.
Should be good there.
For the maneuver to work, Mitch will need to be in sync with an operator he doesn't know.
Okay, you ready to go? Top 2.
Bring her a little bit. 2, a little bit, Mitch. Let her down, Mitch. Let her down. Stop. Whoa, whoa. Catch it.
On the 401 east of Toronto,
Let her down, Mitch.
Mitch Wright's precision move
Stop.
is heading for a hard landing.
Whoa, whoa. Catch it. Look at your lift. Let her down. We give her a little shock load there.
That was hairy, man. I don't like that.
Ah, rough landing. Not the way we wanted to see it come down.
There needs to be a stop at that tipping point to get ready, but that's how you break equipment.
We're gonna write a little book of what not to do to your rotator.
Yeah, no kidding. It's stupid. Hey, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
We had too much slack in our catch line.
We did?
Yeah.
There's always a possibility of a failure. Nobody has the actual true science to every situation and how it's gonna go.
Let's get this thing put away.
Unfortunately, my catch line wasn't tight enough when it came over. It's another one of those things you gotta pick up and you gotta overcome.
Hey, go let this through here. Yeah, it's open, driver.
You just have to learn from your mistakes you made the last time and put those into the next time you get out of the truck.
All right, we have all lanes are open here. Right now, traffic's between you. Let it flow.
Just to the west, night is falling on the city.
Thank you for the good news. Appreciate it, fella.
Wow, look at him. He's hardly in control. He's going so fast.
Abrams Towing 1-ton operator Mark Haslett has to be ready for unexpected behavior on the road.
Oh, we got something in front of us here. We got our vehicle in the live lane.
Anybody that is stopped on the 401 for any reason whatsoever is in immediate danger.
I don't know what the problem is, but this is a lady in a live lane, 4 ways flashing, and I don't know why.
You need to get off to the shoulder immediately. I gotta back up. What's going on here, man? This doesn't make any sense.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What is she doing?
She's going to the shoulder. Okay, she has a problem.
But the car seems to be functioning. We're gonna get out and see what the problem is.
The driver's out of the lane, but still in danger.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Mark from Abrams Towing. Do you need help? Somebody hit you? No, where you're standing right now is not very safe because of the traffic coming.
When I see that, it makes me cringe because you know, another car comes in and hits from behind, boom, they're crushed just like that.
If your car's drivable, best thing to do is go off the highway and call them from there. Okay, no problem. Take care.
All right, let's go.
Mark heads west, knowing the next driver might not be so lucky.
Basically, by doing it the way she did, she created a 3-lane backup. And we have something else here on the shoulder now. We have somebody waving us down, and he looks like he's in distress. So we're gonna get out right now and see if we can help this guy.
How are you? My name's Mark with Abrams Towing. What seems to be the problem? Yeah. What's going on?
My girlfriend, we blew a tire. We have a spare, but we don't have a jack.
You don't have a jack? All right. Yep.
We don't have the money to change the tire. We kept on putting air in it, air in it, air in it.
Oh, okay.
The driver is short of cash, but Mark won't leave him stuck here.
He was in a bad spot. It's a speed up lane, so, you know, the cars are accelerating. It's not really a good place to be. I have a family to feed, just like a lot of people. But sometimes you have to be willing to help people, and people that are genuinely in a bad situation.
All right. Here we go. Go ahead and loosen it now. I'm watching your back, okay? Making sure traffic doesn't smoke us here.
What I do is I set up the wood.
There we go.
And bring the vehicle back down to just ever so slightly lift that back tire.
There we go. Look at that. Look at the back wheel. See? Okay, get your spare out.
So boom, 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 we can get it off almost like a NASCAR crew.
All right, put her on. Okay, I'm gonna set it back down.
Less than 10 minutes later, the car is ready to roll.
This guy's a really good guy. He came out of the blue and helped us out for sure.
All right.
Really appreciate it.
Okay, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Safe travels.
You too, man.
Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
As soon as he saw me, he was waving his arms like crazy, begging for me to pull over and help him.
It feels really good to help somebody in that kind of situation.
Just after sunrise, back on Catfish Creek. It's D-Day for the dump truck recovery.
We're on the way down to Port Bruce, attempt to get this truck out of the river.
The salvage crew worked into the evening to empty the dump box, but they couldn't access the asphalt in the submerged back end, and it's not stable enough to attempt any more offloading.
The tailgate was partly open because it buckled on impact. We decided we're gonna lift this truck out of here the way it is.
The Rosses have called in the heaviest artillery.
Come on back. Tons of room. Everybody's clear. Come on back.
A 350-ton crane. It dwarfs the one they used yesterday.
She's a monster.
Never played with anything that size.
Today,
That's good there.
the weight and distance make it a necessary tool.
He's good for about 40,000 pounds, 100 feet out.
Yeah, we need him as close as we can get him.
We probably got well over 100 people over there. They want to see a dump truck come off this bridge. The show must go on.
It's exciting.
Just had to come early.
Everybody's been itching to see it. I've seen lots of crashes on the 401, but never get to see something like this happen.
The plan, the Ross crew will rig for the crane to lift the truck and swing it away from the water, setting it back down on the road.
Lucky if we clear that bridge here today.
I guess we'll find out. Way you go. Get things started.
Lifting and moving the partly loaded truck at this distance will push the crane close to its limits. Because the farther a crane extends, the less stable it becomes.
Watch your step.
First thing we're gonna do is pull the dump truck up the bridge a little bit. Gonna allow us to get it that much closer for the crane. Make his lift a little easier.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, one cable in.
10-4. All right, Brad, get in the truck.
What we're gonna do is release the brakes. It's not the easiest way to climb into a dump truck, but either way, it's gotta be done.
It's a big moment, eh?
Push the button in. Mike's got tension on it.
Go ahead and release him, Brad.
You got it.
Go ahead and release him, Brad.
You got it.
On the bridge in Port Bruce.
Is the dump truck free, Mike?
Yeah. It rolled ahead a little bit. We're good.
The brakes are released, and the rotator is now holding on to the truck.
Before we released the brakes, we made sure we had a little bit of pressure on the cables. It rolled up the bridge a little bit rather than back down into the river.
We're leaving the bridge here.
But the crew must still roll it up the slope, shifting 40,000 pounds on the collapsed structure.
Now that we're changing the way the weight is on the bridge, we don't know how stable it really is. We don't know what's gonna happen. It may stay in place, it may move. If it moves, we could be in for a world of trouble.
Okay, dump truck's on the move.
Let me know when you got
The 10-foot mark. It had to be a coordinated effort once you start moving something like that. We don't need it back in the river.
We're at our 10-foot mark, David. We're good.
10-4. Yeah, looks better out of the water.
Set that over here.
It's time to rig up for the lift. They'll use a set of spreader bars to lift the truck evenly and prevent it from shifting as it rises and swings to the road.
Just put one on each side there, so we got them.
We've only got one shot. We don't have any room for error.
What side of the shackle's going in there?
Whatever we need to put there.
Big.
Take it out.
Once you've got it in the air, you can't make adjustments for it. Either the rigging's good or it's not good.
Stop. No, wrong ones. Other ones.
Other ones?
Yep. Other one, Pete.
You're putting all your knowledge with the rigging to test.
Those ones are on the angle, right? So that they're for the chains that are picking it up, right? Oh. These ones come straight down.
And everybody's relying on you to make sure that it's done right.
Oh, you just want it that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
If my rigging isn't right and something goes wrong, it would be catastrophic.
Okay, Dave. Whenever you're ready, brother.
The crane will swing the bars over the bridge so Mike and Brad can rig to the truck.
Looking good, Dave.
The dump truck weighs roughly 40,000 pounds is what they're thinking. So I've got to put a huge amount of trust in the guys doing it. Brad and Mike.
Okay, Dave, swing to your right. Okay, that looks good. Line up.
All right. You got the front, I got the back.
We still got an extra couple thousand pounds sitting in this truck. that we really weren't counting on being in there.
At the distance they need to cover, the extra weight will push the crane to its maximum capacity.
I'm ready when you are, Mike.
Okay, Brad. Our pads are in the right spot.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. Everything's snug. We're good.
Sounds safe. Let me know when you're off the bridge and tell me when to go ahead.
We got all the rigging hooked up. We're just gonna start to lift it up a little slow and see what happens. Okay, Dave.
Okay, here we go.
It's really gonna happen.
Oh, they're getting excited now.
Dave will make a small initial lift.
Looking good, Dave. Keep coming up.
Just enough to hold on so the crew will be able to remove the rotator's lines.
Okay, Dave. It's completely off the deck.
When I've got this thing in the air and one of those straps break, now what? Okay, Brad, just tell me when you want me to stop when your cables are slacking up.
Yeah, you can hold it there for a minute, Dave. We'll get rid of those cables.
It's all up to the crane to hold the 40,000 pounds of suspended weight.
Okay, Dave, it's all you.
Just looking at the wind here, we're allowed 12 meters per second. We're only at about 8. We're ready to go.
You're lifting it.
Here she comes.
I can honestly say I've never seen a flying dump truck before.
Yeah, you're looking good there, Dave.
This is definitely a new one.
I told you you'd get to see it fly, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Your back end's going right over that tree there, Dave. You're well off the people.
Just don't want to move up anymore in case it smacks my boom or something like that. I got a good 10 feet there.
Before Dave sets the truck down,
This thing has to spin 180, right?
We'd like it to.
it needs to be pointing the right direction so the crew can tow it away.
I want them to stop right there. Just hold her right there.
That's good there. Hold it.
Just wants you to grab those lines when it's close.
We've got tag lines on this dump truck, so this way we can hold this truck still as it starts to touch the ground.
No, get away from it, Brad. Don't get within 10 feet of it.
Tony, don't go under it.
Tony!
Get out.
Get away from it, Brad. Don't get within 10 feet of it.
On the edge of Catfish Creek,
Tony, don't go under it. Don't go under it.
Don't go under it.
Get out.
the Ross crew is fighting to wrangle the dump truck safely to the ground.
Wait till I get spun around. A lot of people in dangerous spots, so every caution had to be played.
Pull, Lawson. Pull.
Pull. Set her down.
That's good there?
Yep.
All right, Dave, slowly booming down, nice and easy.
Okay? You just gotta keep her straight.
Back tires are on the ground there now.
As we're watching the tires hit the ground, it's a sigh of relief.
Finally.
You've gone through a month of planning, 2 days of rigging, to see this thing touch the ground on flat ground. It's a great sigh of relief.
Couldn't get any smoother or perfect, could we? Lift off to landing.
Yeah, that went pretty good, I thought.
You guys did good hooking up. It's perfect. Just straight up. It's an accomplishment when you go in and do stuff that probably very few people can do.
Well, we couldn't have asked for anything better than that. Now we can put this bridge back together. Or somebody else can put the bridge back together.
And the crew can celebrate their biggest recovery and the biggest challenge of the winter.
Definitely one of those career-changing moments. You learn so much from a job like this. You know, you put a lot more faith into your rigging when you see it put to the test.
Right now we're headed to the Colburn area.
East of Toronto on the 401, Mitch is back on the road, heading to perform some urgent maintenance.
Our tractor trailer clipped a guardrail and bent the bogies on the trailer. Bogies are basically just the set of wheels. I've got a set of the new bogies that we're gonna put in and get this truck back mobile and down the road. Here it is right here. Looks like they're already putting cones down. And look, we're already getting a backup on the 401 already right here. This is gonna be a mess.
And that's not the only reason Mitch wants to finish this job fast.
Give Daddy a big hug. Mwah. Thank you. It was my son's second birthday. I want to get home. We also have to do this job safely and make sure it gets done properly, so it's a time crunch. Daddy gotta go work? One day I hope that it's gonna be me and my son with him by my side on a wreck scene, but you know, until then, I got a lot of work to do. All right, buddy. Go see Mama. Daddy be back. Oh, sorry, buddy.
Say bye, Daddy. Love you.
Stop, right there. That's good.
Traffic's picking up, eh?
She's a good one. He was at the Trenton rest area. When he came in last night, he clipped the wall with this front wheel, and it shoved the wheel back. And now the wheel is impeding the floor of the trailer and the wheel behind it.
Yeah, you can tell, eh?
Hey, Bell?
Yo.
You always start taking clips off?
Yep.
They'll need to support the trailer while they pull out the damaged bogey.
Clear.
And roll in the new set of wheels.
Hey, Pops.
The question is how to set up for the lift while causing the least possible disruption to traffic.
We're doing this over the front of the truck?
Side.
The side?
Yep. I had recommended that we set up in the lane that's closed, work over the side of the truck.
But lifting off the side will put the rotator right up against the live lane. A tight fit for Mitch.
So what, I'm gonna be like here?
Yep.
Why that instead of over the front?
Because it's fully loaded, you can't pick it.
Extending his boom to clear the cab will reduce lifting power with 20,000 pounds on the end of his winch lines. But it will keep the rotator away from traffic, and Mitch is keen to try the move again.
So over the front?
I've never done 20. I don't want to try it here.
What? Are you nervous about going over the front? We're not lifting 60,000. Like, yeah.
Mitch is a very confident individual.
If Mitch wants to try doing it over the cab, give us lots of work room here.
I was lucky enough that he actually approved of it and said, let's do it. So now I'm like, all right, well now this is, you know, like, make sure I better do this good.
All right. Sure. I'm in. Okay.
Mitch will extend his boom over the cab and lift the trailer with 2 lines, allowing the crew to remove and replace the damaged bogey.
We'll get the lights fired up so we can see what we're doing.
Freaks me out working over the front of the truck. You know, like an $800,000 piece of equipment there, and you're doing all your work. Right now, we're about 2 feet off the front bumper, so if anything was to go wrong, that's not a conversation I want to have with my old man.
Grab 2 clevises. We'll go right here. Is your slider as far ahead as you can come?
It's gonna be pretty close, yeah.
Bring it ahead. The least amount of boom we use.
Yeah.
The better.
If you miscalculate what you're lifting with what the capabilities of your equipment are, you can have anything from a failed chain to a failed wire rope to having a truck that is entirely laying upside down in the ditch beside the casualty.
Ready?
Yep. You want me to go straight up, cables up?
Yeah. You're floating. Hang on, Mitch. Hold on, Mitch. You're floating.
On the 401 near Colburn, Mitch Wright is fighting to lift the loaded trailer without toppling the rotator.
Right when I start to pick it up, I take a quick look back at my back rig legs, and they're floating. There's a lot of weight going on at that front end of that truck.
Hang on, Mitch. Hold on, Mitch.
Off, we own it.
That you do.
The rotator is holding the weight for now.
And I can get the bar in right here.
But they need to work quickly to swap the bogies.
1, 2. Oh, and these are fighting us too, big time.
These things are big and heavy.
Hang on, Mitch. I'll go the other side.
Just start rocking the boat.
Count.
I mean, we got 4 or 5 dudes trying to push this thing around, and it's taking forever. Just manhandling it with crowbars and pushing and pulling.
Do a count, and we can go at the same time. I got a bar now.
Okay, it's gonna be on 3, every 3.
Okay, go.
1, 2, 3. 1. Just do it. I don't know. That doesn't make no sense, because then we get no rock the boat.
1, 2, 0.
1, every. I don't. We need to call in the captain here.
It's 8 wheels facing straight ahead, and we didn't bring anything to steer it, so we're using pry bars. Just look like a bunch of monkeys.
I feel like kindergarten right now. How are you, sir?
How long are you guys gonna be?
I don't know. Maybe within an hour and a half.
We got to get this bogey underneath here and get this thing out of here.
We had it good when we had the momentum. We just
If
can't.
you want to rotate that way a little bit,
Yeah,
we can roll it right up to the truck, right on that angle.
sounds good.
With the weight already tipping his truck forward, Mitch now needs to swing the trailer away from the bogey.
Boom up. Good. Okay, hold it. There we go.
Let it roll.
Yeah.
Just let it roll, and we'll do the same thing we just did, Greg.
Yep. Yep. Go.
There we go. Beautiful.
All right, rotator. Put the wood in.
Rotator over.
Let her down.
Wood. Whew. That sigh of relief once it's like that.
20,000 over the front.
That was cool.
Pretty cool.
That worked out good.
You called my bluff. You were right. I was wrong.
That's right.
It's hard to stand in the back 50 and allow him to do what he wants to do, but he seems to be taking it places that I have not gone myself.
Later that night,
Yeah, we'll go see you. Come here. You want to see truck? Yeah?
Mitch has missed the party, but the birthday boy is still up and paying his dad a visit at the shop.
Like Mitch's son, since the day he's been able to get his hands on the handlebars or the steering wheel or the keys, it was all about something that made noise and had a throttle.
What?
It makes a proud dad moment to see a son pick up where you left off.
Where's the horn? You don't know? What's that do?
Next time on Heavy Rescue 401.
There's 1, 2, 3. Oh.
An icy night
Lots of carnage tonight.
puts the crew under pressure
I don't want to be out here any longer than I have to be tonight.
and puts Colin
There's one right there.
in the crosshairs.
Let's get out of here.
Now everyone watch themselves.
Bubba races rush hour
Where is this vac truck, man?
and leaking fuel.
But honestly, like, where is he?